Learn this truth. You are being manipulated by your reactions. Every anger, every frustration, every need to defend yourself gives power to others that ends now. This audiobook will teach you how to stop reacting and start dominating your mind. You will learn silence, discipline, emotional control, and quiet authority. Stay with me and transform everything about how you handle life.
Every emotional reaction exposes your weaknesses, anger, defensiveness, frustration. These are predictable patterns others exploit. You have a choice. You can react and give control away, or you can pause and observe. That is the key. Arguments, social media debates, workplace conflicts all show the same truth. Those who react lose leverage. Those who pause gain clarity and authority. If they can trigger you, they can control you. If they cannot trigger you, they lose power. Recognize triggers, pause before responding. Name the emotion, choose action carefully. This is discipline. This is mental toughness. You do not need their permission to stay in control. Most people react automatically. They blame the situation, they blame others. You will train yourself to choose. You will train your mind to resist impulse. This builds unbreakable control. Every time you pause, every time you resist reaction, you reclaim authority. You reclaim your energy. You reclaim your life. That is the key. You mastered your fear. Now let's talk about the true currency of your life. Most people fear silence. They speak to fill gaps, explain to justify, react to feel in control. But silence is not emptiness. Silence is space, and space is power. That is the key. Silence makes others uncomfortable. That discomfort shifts control. You have a choice. You can speak to release pressure or stay silent and apply it. Weak minds talk. Strong minds observe. It is not about confidence, it is about discipline. You do not need their permission to remain quiet. When you stay silent, you force others to reveal themselves. They talk, they explain, they expose. While you give nothing away, if they can trigger you, they can control you. But if you stay silent, they lose leverage. You have a choice. Discipline creates calm in chaos. Silence keeps you outside the trap. Calm, silent people control the tempo. Loud, emotional people lose it. That is the key. Train. Silence daily. Do not respond immediately. Speak only when it adds value. Breathe into discomfort. Grow into control. You do not need their permission to be silent. Silence is the tool. Discipline is the weapon that is power. Emotional control is not natural. It is trained. You have a choice. You can remain reactive or you can start training restraint. It is not about temperament. It is about repetition. You do not need their permission to change. Your mind is a muscle. What you repeat, you strengthen. Repeat emotional reactions, you build weakness. Repeat calm responses, you build toughness. That is the key. Recognize triggers, pause before reacting. Label the emotion, delay action, control the body, calm the mind. Discipline wins over instinct. You have a choice. Consistency builds control. One moment does not change you. Daily practice compounds each pause, each restraint, each choice strengthens mental toughness. You do not need their permission to persist. Failures will happen. Reacting is normal. Reset, continue, train daily. Master emotion not by avoiding it, but by commanding it. That is the key. Most people explain too much. They justify, they defend, they seek approval. That is weakness. You have a choice. You can explain to be accepted or act and let results speak. Respect is observed, not negotiated. Explaining to disrespectful people lowers your position, protects nothing. Only calm, deliberate action creates authority. That is the key. Boundaries do not require explanation. Discipline does not defend, it enforces. You do not need their permission to enforce your boundaries. Authority is built quietly and consistently. Silence speaks louder than words. Practice daily. Notice impulses to justify. Respond only when necessary. Pause, let silence follow. Let results prove your point. That is power. You are now prepared to train the final weapon. The pause is where power lives. Most people never pause. They react, they speak, they lose control. That is the trap. The pause separates discipline from impulse. You have a choice. React immediately or pause and choose. It is not about speed. It is about control. You do not need their permission to slow down. Every emotional mistake happens too fast. Every strong decision happens after a pause. The pause is awareness. The pause is power. It puts you back in command. Pause in messages, confrontations, disrespect, breathing. Observation, choice. Each pause protects authority. Each pause builds mastery. That is the key. Discipline trains the pause. Notice physical cues. delay response. Ask yourself what keeps your power. That is the key. Repetition makes control permanent. Emotional people are predictable, and predictability is weakness. Manipulation starts with emotion, fear, anger, urgency, ego. Whoever controls emotion controls behavior. You have a choice: be driven by emotion or observe it. Discipline is mastery. You do not need their permission to think clearly. Every provocation tests your control. Disrespect attempts manipulation. Your reactions teach others what controls you. Pause before acting. Observe without obeying. That is power. Name emotion, delay reaction, question intent, control the room. Calm neutrality blocks manipulation. That is the key. You have a choice. Most people rely on motivation. Motivation is temporary. It comes and goes. It is loud, flashy. Discipline is quiet, steady, unstoppable. You have a choice. Chase motivation or build discipline. It is not about excitement. It is about consistency. You do not need their permission to act. Quiet, disciplined people work silently. Show results, speak through action. Results outlast words. Discipline conserves energy. Motivation wastes it. Small, consistent actions compound into power. That is the key. Daily practice builds mastery. Pause, focus, control boundaries. Authority, consistency beats chaos. That is power. You have a choice. Disrespect is everywhere. Most people react immediately. They defend. They argue. They lose power. That is the trap. Authority is earned silently. Discipline is calm control. You have a choice. React or build authority. Boundaries enforced consistently. Create respect. You do not need permission to claim it. Pause, observe, decide. Respond only to strengthen position. Disrespect no longer controls you. Manipulation loses power. Chaos cannot drain your energy. That is authority. That is the key. Focus is more valuable than time. Most people waste it. Notifications, distractions, urgency, surrender. Attention, that is weakness. You have a choice: guard your focus or surrender it. Discipline is the bridge. Every interruption ignored. Every priority protected. Every task done with attention compounds power. That is the key. Focus is currency. Energy is finite. Attention is your weapon. You do not need permission to protect it. Daily routine. Decide what matters. Eliminate distractions. Repeat consistently. Focus creates clarity, momentum. Leverage distractions. Create noise, stress loss. That is mastery. You stopped reacting. You learned silence. You trained control. You stopped explaining. You mastered the pause. You avoided manipulation. You built authority. You protected your focus. Now the final weapon is you. You control mind, body, emotions. Attention, energy. That is power. Most people surrender it. They react. They chase approval. They waste attention. You have a choice. Discipline is the bridge from weakness to power. Every moment is a test. Every action reinforces who you are. Temptation will come. Pressure will come. Disrespect will come. React and you obey. Pause and you dominate. That is the key. Take responsibility for thoughts, actions. Focus energy. You are the weapon. You are the authority. You are the fortress. Step into it. Now dominate your mind. Dominate your actions. Dominate your life. The final weapon is you.